Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, subscribe. Y'all, I said often we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at AMD, and it looks as if AMD closed at 210.86, and we've bounced off of this 200 EMA. Not very surprising considering we were kind of in this area here on, was it yesterday? Yes. Okay, so where are the trouble places as of right now? And again, this video is being recorded pre-market, so 208.36 could be a trouble place for us. Breaking that level, we could possibly, I'm going to mark a level here, and you may wonder why I have so many lines on my chart, and that's because it kind of helps me know, I look at support and resistance on a smaller scale because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are, right? So there would have been a big distance from this line to this line, but it just showed me where that place is, right? So again, that 208.36, possibly again around 208.81. Should we break that level, 209.74, and y'all see that 210.34 is really close to that ATR trail and stop at 210.27. I love to see that. Right now, breaking that for AMD today, we could possibly have trouble 211.01, and should we break that 211.01, 211.50, breaking the 211.50, 211.96, and again 212.48. So those are possible areas of resistance or trouble places to the upside for AMD today. Now back to the downside. Let's say we break under this area of 207.20, which is kind of where our 200 EMA is as of now. Breaking that brings us back to the 206.36, breaking the 206.36 for AMD today, 204.88, and 203.79. Breaking the 203.79, we could possibly find support or have trouble around the 202.90. Breaking that 202.90 today, we could possibly come back to 202.03. Now breaking that 202.03 could bring us back to around the $200.48. Those are possible areas of support or trouble places to the downside for AMD today. Again, not financial advice, right? I said so often, y'all, there's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you, right? So we are now looking at Meta. We closed at 653.69, and as of now, support is around that 649.20. We see prices gathering in this area right here, kind of where we knew we could possibly have trouble, right? So resistance is somewhere around the 651.55. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again around the 653.01, 654.04, 655.22, breaking that 655.22 for Meta today, 657.64. Should we break that, y'all see there's a few layers of resistance, 658.72 up to the 659.89. So those are possible areas of resistance for Meta. Now breaking that, we could very well come back to 661.29. So those are possible areas of resistance or trouble places to the upside for Meta. Let's look to the downside. Let's say we break under the 649.20. We could very well come back to, let's say, the 648.05, which that 50 EMA is right there at the 648.43, kind of close, right? So this could be a strong area of support. Again, not financial advice. However, breaking the 648.05 today, 646.99, and y'all see that ATR trail and stop is really close to that area, 646.56. Should we break that for Meta today, 645.83 down to the 644.99. So there's 1, 2, 3 layers of support here, one being the 200 EMA, 645.46. So Should we break that, that means we've broken through a few layers of support for Meta, and we could very well come back to the 643.98, breaking that 643.20, breaking that level 642.60. Should we break that 641.98, 641.47, and breaking that 640.42, which brings us back to where we started on yesterday, right before that bell rung, right? So again, if you're trading Meta today to the upside or to the downside, make sure that you mark your levels, and once it goes against your why or your reason for getting in the trade, get out. Make sure you have a plan before going in, right? So we are now looking at Nvidia. We closed at 195.56, and yes, Nvidia seems to be finding support. We can say at that 197.19. Why? Because the body of the candles are right at that area. Yes, we do have a wick here, but look where the body of the candles are, right under the 5 EMA, but right there. So that say, with that being said, that 197.19 is a support area. Resistance 198.03. As of now, trouble places 198.03, 194.89. Y'all see that ATR trail and stop is right at a level we have marked 199.95. I love to see this because it's just, in my opinion, simple support and resistance, marking your gathering spots and just marking those levels, right? So again, wanted to point that out. 199.95 for Nvidia. We could still have trouble again. $200.50, 201.03, 201.48, 201.95, and 202.40. Those are possible areas of resistance. Keep in mind, it's a few layers right there. So if we should break that, the next level is around the 203.49, and should we break that, 204.38. So those are possible areas of rejection or possible trouble places for Nvidia today. Now let's say we come back under this level of 197.19. That 50 EMA is right where we have marked here at the 196.48. I love to see it, right? Really close, really close. So should we break that for Nvidia today, we could possibly have trouble again around the 195.95, breaking that 195.95 for Nvidia, 194.90. And if we should break the 194.90 for Nvidia, we can come back to 194.03, 193.68, and breaking that 193.23. Should we break that, let's see, 192.50, and again here at 192.20. So there's a few layers of support from that 193.13, which is our 200 EMA for Nvidia. So breaking that means we've broken through a few layers of support. Now breaking that one, under, let's say, the 192.20, we could very well come back to 191.30. So if you're trading Nvidia today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. Again, not financial advice, right? So let's look at the SPY today. We closed at 693.15. We saw this incline on yesterday, that trend to the upside. So trouble places, that 693.96. Y'all see that? That's where price is having trouble. We kind of knew that, right? And if we should break that, we could possibly have trouble again. 694.52, 695.03, 695.54, 695.97. Breaking that level, 696.61, 697.30, breaking that 697.30, possibly 698.06, breaking the 698.06 for the SPY, 698.96 could be a trouble place for us. So today should be an interesting day, right? So let's say we break back to the downside for the SPY. Let's say we break under this level here of 693.52. It looks like we're getting rejected here. However, this is a support. Y'all see that is where the 5 EMA is, and the level 693.52 we have marked. Breaking that 20 EMA again is at another level. Love to see this. 692.98, breaking that brings us back to around 692.17. However, it's like my eye immediately goes to this area here. Why? Because price came back a few times to this area here. And I'm going to show the body of the candles. There's 1 time, 2, 3, almost 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Came to this area a few times, so I need to remember that, right? 692.98, again at 692.39. Under that, let's say 692.17, very, very close, right? Again, I look on a smaller scale. So breaking that, 692.17, we have 691.73, 691.22, and again here at 690.89. Breaking the 690.89 for the SPY, we could very well come back to 689.83. Keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out anywhere in this level here, right? So if you're trading the SPY today, I said often, y'all trade carefully. Now breaking under the 689.83, we can come back to 689.45. There's a few layers right here at the 689.02. However, breaking that as of now, that 200 EMA is around the 688.45. Now breaking that, we can very well come back to 688.15, and breaking the 688.15 for the SPY, we can come back to 687.57. That would be interesting, right? So if you're trading the SPY today, I say it so often, trade carefully. Why? Because in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. I'm kind of marking this area. Why? Because again, price gathered in this area here, and that's where we broke out of that area, which is kind of close to our 200 EMA, y'all. Charting tips, let me say that, right? So if you're trading again the SPY today, make sure you mark your support and your resistance. This is not financial advice, right? So we are looking at Tesla, and I say it so often, y'all, Tesla does what Tesla does. We closed at 417.40 after coming off this 408 low on yesterday, right? Tesla does what Tesla does. So where are the trouble places? As of now, support is around 414.99 or that 415 area, which that's where we were here. That's where we've been trading. That's a support area for us. Resistance, let's look at that now. I'm going to mark here. Why? Because something stopped us in this area 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times, and you see the body of the candles, which are here. So in my opinion, that 415.70 area could be a strong area of resistance going back to the upside. Breaking that, however, 416.46 or 416.56, breaking the 416.56, we could very well come back to 417.19. And should we break that for Tesla, 418.62, again here at 419.71, breaking the 419.71 for Tesla today, we can come back to 420.43. And y'all see, y'all hear my dog Coco in the background. Yes, y'all see that 420.43 area. The next level, 421.18, could be a rejection area, and breaking that for Tesla today, 422.22. And I just remember that. Should we break that, 423.01, but looking at that 423.01 up to, let's say, the 424.29, there's a few layers of resistance for Tesla. So if you are trading Tesla today to the upside, those are possible trouble places. Now let's look to the downside. Under this 415 or 14.99 area, we could very well come back to this level here of 413.75, but I need to mark this. Why? Because something held us in this area here around the 414.52. So breaking that 414.52, we can come back to the 413.75. If we break the 413.75, 412.97. If we break that 412.97, the ATR trailing stop as of now, 412.37, and breaking that 412 area, which is here. So breaking the 412 for Tesla today, we can come back to 411.43, and breaking that 410.58. Under that for Tesla, 410.01, and should we break that, 409.03, which brings us back to this area here. It would not surprise me to see us back in this area. Again, not financial advice. I'm going to say that again, right? So 408.49 is the low of these candles here. Under that for Tesla today, 407.89, and again here at 407.10. So those are possible areas of support and resistance for Tesla today. Again, not financial advice. Let me say that, right? So this is what I see when I look at the market, y'all. I say it so often. There's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging at times is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you and making sure that you have a strategy before going into the trade. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable profitable and a very, very productive day today. Again, if you could please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. I said often, we learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. And I need to give this disclaimer, y'all. I'm sorry. So my dog was in the background, Coco, so I do apologize if you heard her making any kind of sound or any kind of noise, but I just love my Coco, right? So until next time, y'all, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.